going on, you guys? Welcome back to Forgiven AF Podcast. You guys hear me say this every episode that we use this as marketing material for our nonprofit Second Chance Mentors. It's really important that I put that out there because that's the purpose of this.
Yeah.
Is to spread awareness, to kind of get our mission out there, but then at the same time to support. So one of the coolest things that we have now is Fresh Out, which is our new initiative where we're working with guys that have gotten out of prison. We've even started kind of working with homeless. We started this like kind of homeless thing. We're doing a coat drive right now. Me and Brian have been going out to Lancaster Ave, passing out whatever, different supplies and stuff that gets donated to kind of just help guys out. Sometimes it might even help us. It might even be like more about how it makes me feel good.
The
You
joy,
know what I mean? Like
joy, yeah.
Like that's probably sometimes people say like, "Oh man, you must do so much for these kids, or you're helping these kids so much." And I'm like, honestly, like I feel like I probably get more out of it than they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's cool. So super excited to be back. We've had a bunch of good episodes recently, and I'm super excited about this one too. We're kind of going to switch up the speed a little bit here. This isn't going to be so much of like a redemption story, but more of a here's another option to look at. Kind of when you get out, kind of sort of thing. Also, more about like entrepreneurship, the business side of it, because, for instance, for me, when I got out of prison, I wasn't about to go work for somebody. I didn't really have the option to go work for somebody. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it was more about like, hey, how can I figure out something that I can do on my own? So we can kind of go through like the entrepreneurship side of, but roofing in general has absolutely literally changed my life.
Yeah.
The industry has changed my life. The income has changed my life. And it's a really cool thing that no one has ever said to me, Sean, you're a felon, before I asked them if they wanted a roof inspection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That one usually doesn't come up.
Yeah, that's never been asked. So it's kind of cool. One of my good friends, Justin Visitacion, dude, thank you for being with me today.
Honored, man.
This
Honored.
is something that we've talked about doing. We actually did like a part of an episode. What was it about? Was it a year ago?
It was a while ago at this point. Yeah,
So
it was like over 2 hours.
Yeah, we did a whole bunch of content because Justin was able to use it then for like marketing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
with the
I
business.
think we only used like one video. But
I only saw you put one so far.
Hey, we got it. We got more in the back. We'll let them age like fine wine.
But it's still there. So Justin, I own F4 Roofing and Construction. Justin owns Ember Roofing and Construction.
Sure.
And it's just kind of cool. So I just want to kind of start off with, if you could just tell our listeners kind of like, who you are, where you're from, like kind of your backstory a little bit.
Yeah, most definitely. So I, born in Fort Lauderdale, Florida area, Florida boy. I was only there for about a year. Ended up moving here with my parents. Grew up here, Mansfield, Texas area. Went to school, did the whole thing. Grew up with two parents, man. My mom was a Mexican immigrant, so immigrated here from Mexico when she was about 11, which was, golly, my mom won't watch this. It was like 40 or so years, 30 years ago. We'll just say that. Immigrated here, and so had an immigrant mom, moved here. Dad was grew up with his grandma. Didn't grow up with like a perfect household. Mom and dad weren't really in the picture.
Yeah.
So just grew up with some parents, man, that kind of had a tough get at life, man. They had to go through a lot to kind of get where they are, and that shapes you as a kid, growing up through that. But I couldn't have asked for anything more. They're phenomenal parents. But with that said, grew up here, played baseball my entire life, baseball player. I've just always been the optimistic, happy-go-lucky kid, and ended up pursuing baseball in college. And then the big turning point of my life, I'd say, was when I was in college playing baseball. Ended up having my daughter at 19 years old. My wife now at the time, girlfriend then, was 18, turning 19. And man, when you have a kid at that age, when you're a kid having to raise a kid, yeah, man, it gets, you hear teen pregnancy and stuff like that, especially growing up, you never really think, oh, that's going to be me. You know what I mean? Like, you never put yourself in that position. Then when it happens, man, golly, I still remember to this day sitting in the bathroom with the pregnancy test, and me and my wife were just bawling our eyes out because we're like, what do we do?
Yeah.
And
we're
so
just kids.
Yeah, and it was a real, I don't want to say rock bottom, but I want to say it was a real game changer for me, for sure. And I know my wife, she's phenomenal, but man, it really, you're, I guess, like a selfish kid growing up. You don't have anyone, no you have responsibilities, but you're not thinking about those things, right? You're not thinking 10, 15, 20 years down the line, and then all of a sudden, what's going to happen?
Was it right away that you were like, okay, I'm going to step up and be the man that I need to be for this kid? Or was there any period of like, oh, I'm going to finish school and, you got this and I'll come help you?
Yeah. Man, it was, and I got this question a lot. Like people are like, why didn't you keep playing baseball, when you had it? It didn't even occur to me. Like as soon as it happened, I was like, okay, it took me some time,
Yeah.
right, a lot of tears, it took a lot of understanding of that. I was going to have to put the life that I once had away to now help pursue another life. But, I, it's been so long ago at this point. I don't think so. I think it was mainly just a decision. It's something I took really serious. I think I understood the gravity of what happened and
Yeah.
that the responsibility that comes when you're having to be a father and at that age, you know what I mean? And
So I'm going to show you something, a correlation. I'm sure you've made this before, but
yeah,
you said your father was raised without his father, right?
correct. Yeah.
By a grandmother. Your
Hmm.
father broke the generational curse of being the father that was there for his
Yep.
kids, and then therefore you had already had an example of what a father was supposed to be. So then, for you, pretty much knew right away what you needed to do.
Dude, right on the money.
Do you see what I
Right? Yeah.
mean? Like,
No, and that's what I'm meaning. Like when I talk about my parents, man, they were like, you hear people, the silver spoon, people are given things. I mean, my parents weren't given much at all. And just seeing like what they've done with what they've had, which is a lot of like an entrepreneurial mindset.
yeah.
You do with what you have and you get creative on where you're at and you kind of expand from there. And I was just able to see that as a kid. I mean, I can't thank them enough for what they've done
Let me.
because I mean, as a kid
I
growing
love
up,
that.
seeing that's
No, and I love that,
priceless.
and that's what I'm because you know what? There's two different types of people. There's the people that like your parents that said, "Okay, this is what we have to work with, and I'm going to make the best of it."
Yeah.
Or there's the people that sit around, "Oh, woe is me. You don't understand how hard it was for me.
Yeah. The
I,
victim
I
mindset.
deserve the." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
man.
it sounds to me by your parents' work ethic that that was not something that they did.
Dude, you're taking the words right out of my mouth. I mean, that's exactly what it was. I mean, and I think growing up, I didn't have a good understanding of that until now. Now that I'm a parent and
Yeah,
having to kind of be in their own shoes, but just some of the things that they were. I mean, I like when my dad still he owns his own business. He owns a gym. So my dad was a grew up, without his family, found martial arts at a really young age, and he says to this day it saved his life. He grew up in the projects, like didn't grow up with a lot.
yeah,
He's probably a person you'd have on this podcast, actually. But he was found martial arts, swears to it by this day. It's what saved his life from getting him out of trouble and really getting him to focus in. He was like back in like the Bruce Lee days,
yeah.
like your body's your temple, all the things, and so he was really bought into that, and so that ended up leading him into his fighting career. And he was fighting on ESPN when he was 23, 24 years old,
Oh, that's
getting
cool.
paid to go fight, and end up meeting my mom. But and I don't know if you know much about fighting, but man, the like what goes like UFC, it's cool to watch, right? Like all the showboating, but man, like the practice and the discipline that has to be done behind it, which I think they've shown a lot of that now, like making weight and things like that. You've
Yeah.
seen, but it's grueling, man. It's intense, and so like I grew up around that, and that was just something I just saw from my dad. You grow up as a kid. It's my dad. He
Yeah.
just does that, and then as you kind of become your own parent, you're like, okay, that he wasn't just like any other dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was really getting after it, and so just I say this too. I think everybody is shaped by the experiences that they go through in life and how those experiences, how they interpret those experiences is what really helps shape them into the man or woman that they
That's good.
become. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so,
the interpretation part is really big, like,
yeah,
because two people can look at the same situation and have a completely different interpretation of
so
what's going
true.
on,
So
you know?
true, man. And I think being like having to be optimistic about things, like especially, um, like being incarcerated, man. Like I've never been incarcerated in my entire life. Like I can't even relate to how that is, but understand like from where you've come and like for what you're doing now, like you probably could have had it probably would have been a lot easier for you just to be like, you know what, I'm just gonna go like work somewhere or just go like kind of
Yeah,
mess around
or go
somewhere and
back to crime,
right,
which is
yeah.
a common one.
Yeah, and it's just like you had the decision to make something more of yourself, right? And that can be one of the hardest decisions to make, but a lot of times the hardest decisions to make are the best
Yeah,
ones.
definitely the
So
best ones, that definitely makes sense. So, do you ever feel like you lost part of your identity when it came to playing baseball? Like, because I had a guy on the show a
it's a
couple
good
weeks
one.
ago who he almost made it to the NFL. Like, he was in the draft,
Oh,
didn't
dope.
get drafted,
Mm,
and then completely like felt completely lost
really?
because his identity was in being a football player.
Yeah, for sure. And man, I've thought about this question too. I've actually been asked this before, and I don't know if like we talked about this before we hopped on, like kind of how you're raised through sports where you have mentors and your parents and how they influence you. Like my parents weren't the parents that were the ones that were like, very hard on me, like made sure I did the things. They were just kind of making sure that I was keeping myself busy and getting those fundamentals of what it is to be on a team and like how to be
Yeah.
on a team sport. And that was, I think, what they were mainly geared towards when it came to sports. Now, I just so happened that I was, wanted to be really good at the sport. And so I practiced a lot and became really good, played through college and did what I wanted. But man, when it came, and I think that's what made the decision a lot easier, kind of back to that first one you were talking about of,
Not having the pressure from your parents.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not having the pressure from your parents. So when it came to a point in my life when I had to kind of shift from being a college baseball player, and that's all. Because if you in any sports in college, it's a job, man.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah. Yeah.
fully into
Yeah.
that, and just shifting from that just into going to the workforce, becoming who I need to be, supporting my family. Like it was almost a shift that felt very natural, I guess you could
Yeah.
say. It's just because like the gravity I understood of what I was needing to do, and is like, and again, maybe back to my parents, seeing them, they understand
Yeah.
the task, the things that need to get done, and they got them done. And so for me, it was inevitable. Like, okay, I have a child. This is what needs to be done. I need to do this, this, and this,
Yeah. It's
and
time to
just
take
like,
that next step.
yeah, I
Yeah.
went forward with it. And I don't want to say like it was easy, but I want to say I don't felt like I lost my identity from it. I think I was able to like become more adaptive, and understand that my identity is going to change, but it needs to change in order to be who I need to be for my little one growing
That's
up,
good. What was your walk like as far as like faith is concerned growing up?
Man, that's another, so I don't want to say like I grew up in church. We went to church, I mean, I probably for a good 5 or 6 years growing up as a kid, and I might have that wrong, but it wasn't, live and breathe church, right? But
Yeah.
my mom, I take my faith definitely back to my mom. My mom is, um, you know, Mexican immigrant. Religion's a big thing with her, right? And so, becoming a Christian and just believing in faith in God was always something that she always made sure that was always instilled with me.
Was there a time when you said, okay, like when you kind of felt like, okay, this is my faith now, not my mom's? Like,
Dude, that's such a good one. And I think that's I would say that point was when oh, that's a really good question. Where the point that this started at, I remember this now clear as day. I remember, man, I was in my daughter's room at the time, and I'm like down on my knees. I can't remember why. I'm assuming we were probably didn't have any money in the account. Something. There was something that was obviously getting me down. I can't remember what it was, but regardless, I just remember there's a point when like I kind of had like a self-reflection moment where I was naturally talking to God, because that's just what I was taught from as a
yeah,
as a child, And so just sitting there bawling my eyes out, like, what am I gonna do? I'm 20 years old, living with my in-laws. I have a kid here. Like, I'm working 3 jobs. Nothing seems like it's going right. And then it came to a point where I understood, like, almost clear as day, where it's like, okay, I knew how much God was an impact on me, and my wife didn't grow up that way. She has great parents, don't get me wrong,
yeah,
but just faith driven, she didn't have those types of principles that were driven to me. And to me, that was like a very clear understanding of like, okay, like if I'm going to marry this woman, and we weren't married yet. We got married, I think Aspen, our daughter, was 5, I think, at the time when we got married. So it took us some time. Like we didn't have the kid and it's like, okay, yep, now you need to get married.
yeah,
We really, I think we both understood how big marriage was. Not that we didn't love each other, but like we knew, we understood that there was a lot of growth that we were going to need
yeah.
to
You
grow
guys were still
through.
kids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so it was a point of like I'm assuming I'm just a mutual understanding between us, but I don't. I'm digressing. I understood that her faith was nowhere near mine, and I was like, at some point, if she's going to be the wife and the woman that's raising my children, as a boy, you think of your mom, right? Or whoever
yeah.
the woman like was, and you think you want someone like that raising your children, because that's how it made who you are. And so I was like, she has a lot of what my mom has, but she's different in a bunch of ways. And I don't want to compare her to my mom anyway, you know what I mean? But she just didn't have the faith driven that I was wanting at the time. And so I made it a real thing. I was like, hey, look, whatever we do, let's just go get in a church. And this is going to kind of pull back. I had a couple mentors in my life, and one of them told me, I think we went over this last time. He told me 2 things. He said, my hair was long, dude. I'm talking like at my shoulders, probably. Like that's long for me. And this was when I was first in roofing sales. And he was like, 2 things I want to tell you. He's like, cut your hair and find a church. He's like, if it's not my church, just go find a church. You and your wife go find a spot, and you find somewhere that speaks to y'all. And that's where we found more church at the time. And anyways, circle back. I told her, I said, hey, look,
I want
this
to
is what,
raise my daughter
yeah,
in faith.
yeah. I
Yeah,
want to raise her in faith, and I want her to be to do it in the specific way. And she didn't really give me a lot of pushback. You know, it wasn't like oh no, like that's not my religion. It was more like, okay, like, hey, this is something that you believe in. Like, I'll give it a try. Like, let's go for
That's
it,
cool,
you know?
yeah.
And so, that's all I wanted. Right. And that's all I prayed for. And dude, it's history from there. I mean,
Yeah,
we were
that's cool.
heavily involved in the church,
Yeah.
and it's been nothing but a blessing, man. I think I heard, golly, and I don't want to bring politics into this, but I know Charlie Kirk, and I'm sure he may have heard it from somewhere else, but he was saying, you know, any of the principles that you find in the Bible, if you directly apply those principles
Your
to
life
your
will get
life,
better.
your life will get better.
Yeah.
And I heard that. I was like, God, I was like, it's so true.
It is
It's
so
so
true.
true. Like we were talking about re-engage, like those principles
Yeah.
come directly from the Bible that can help you in business. It can help you in friendships, marriage, all of it, you know? And so that was
I love that.
that was a big point, turning point way, but long-winded. So
No, you're good. You're good. It's all good stuff.
yeah.
Because I'm thinking about how important, and this is something that I still struggle with to this day. Like I wish I had it all figured out. I
yeah.
do struggle with this as far as like leading my family spiritually.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like I know that I should be praying with my wife. I know that I should. But
Yeah.
for some reason, that's one of the hardest things in the world for me to do. Is at night to like reach over, grab my wife's hand, and pray.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know
dude.
why. You know what I mean?
No, quick, I don't know, anecdote, I guess, because I always thought it always like when I was growing up, Thanksgivings, Christmases, all the things. I was the youngest growing up. I'm like the only boy of like all my cousins are girls, and so you know you get your certain privileges. But one of my things that I had to do was they always made me pray
That's good.
before dinner, which at the time I'm like. I gotta pray
Yeah.
again, you know. But like growing up now, it's like okay, I understand why they wanted that because my wife said it really well. So she was asked by someone in the church for like they're doing a panel, and it was like, how does it make you feel when you hear your husband pray? And one of it was like 8 or so wives that was asked, and just so Candace was the one that was asked, and the way that it was rolled out is they were just saying like comments of what they said, didn't say who said them.
Yeah.
And what she said was the one that stuck with me the most, which was crazy. And later on to figure out that was what she said. But she was like, when my husband prays, it gives me peace of mind knowing where his heart is. She's like, because the way my husband, and I'm totally butchering this, but from what I knew she was meaning was, you know, I'm such a driven person, like just always want to get the task done, always
Yeah.
looking for more. Sometimes, man, that can like really get in the way of relationships, especially
Well,
with
that's so
with your
true.
with your wife. You know, because your wife is she's your one, right? She's the one
Yeah.
that needs to be closest to you, and so she understood that when I pray, she understands like where my heart posture was. Because a lot of times it's hard for me, especially men,
Yeah.
and I don't want to put this on everybody, but at least for me, it can be hard sometimes to like really like shift gears and slow down and like really have a good, clean conversation with my wife and just like, hey, like checking like how you doing?
Yeah,
like
I'm
I know
okay
I'm
with
running
that.
a million miles an hour over here, but like how are you? You know,
Yeah.
and sometimes that's all she wants. You know what I mean?
So
and
true.
for me, I'm like, maybe she just needs to go on a date night. Maybe she just needs to do
Wait,
this. You know, and so
That's so good, dude.
maybe
That's
she
so
needs
true.
a new purse or whatever. You know,
Oh, it's so easy to give them a purse or take them out to dinner, you know what I mean? But to
Right.
sit down and slow, because my wife gets annoyed. She'd be like, Sean, can we stop talking about roofing? Like, or Sean, can we stop talking about the gym? It used to be in the gym. When we first opened this gym, dude, she used to get so mad. Like, can we talk about anything other than the gym?
Dude, I was so relatable.
And
Oh,
I'm like, I would actually get annoyed, like frustrated back instead of just
sure.
understanding she was coming
Yeah,
from a
we're
place of
passionate
love.
about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's I think you can relate with that too. Because I don't see you being not a very driven person. I mean, we're sitting in a place that you created. You know what I mean? And so I think that's honestly probably one of the biggest lessons that I've learned with entrepreneurship. If you need to answer that, brother,
No,
go for it.
it's okay. It's my son.
Yeah, if with entrepreneurship, man, I think that's one of the biggest things that I think I've learned is when really how to be a leader. But like, what kind of leader do you want to be? There's so many different leaders out there in this world that you can lead in so many different ways that other people will want to be led in a different way. But
Yeah.
understanding like who you are as a leader and what type of leader you want to be really helps lay the pathway of like what company you're going to build, who you attract, and
So
whatnot
true,
before
dude.
that. And I think, and it starts with your family. It starts with how you lead your wife, how you lead your kiddos. You know what I mean?
Good.
And then that can help unfold into your business. And dude, I don't want to sound like, oh, you got it all together. Like I struggle so much. Like I'll call my wife right now and I'm like, hey, what am I struggling with the most? She's like, well, when you come home, I need you to be present. Like, please,
Yeah.
we have a 9-month-old right now. Like I was up at, gosh, 1 a.m., 4 a.m., and like 5 a.m. Just, we're in
Yeah.
that stage. And so we're in the thick of it right now, and so it's, different needs she's needing right now and in the season we're in, but it's, it's tough.
Yeah, it is tough.
It's like a constant juggle, we're trying to throw it all together, but
Trying to figure out how to make time and to, 'cause sometimes I feel like I have so many things going on that I'm just kind of like juggling stuff
yeah,
instead of actually like lifting. So it's like my relationship, my wife just getting juggled the same as like, the gym is, but it needs
mhm.
to be held up higher on a higher pedestal. But
Yeah,
I'm just kind of, but let's circle back. Let's go
yeah,
back to, I want to get more into like the entrepreneur, the roofing side of everything.
sure, yeah.
So how did you get into roofing?
Oh, great question. I think just like everybody, I just kind of fell into it. Just knew someone. I remember I was at the time I was in nursing school. Like I'm talking, I was deep into nursing school. So I think by the time, and I'll kind of fast forward, I ended up dropping out to pursue roofing, and I had about a semester left to finish, and ended up quitting nursing to go full time into roofing. And the way it happened was, as I was in nursing school, if anyone's been in nursing school, they understand, how demanding the curriculum is, and you can't have a normal 9 to 5 job, nursing in nursing school. It's just not going to
Yeah.
happen. So, um, uh, roofing gave me the ability to really help put me in a spot where I can still do nursing and like make good grades, but then also still provide and have money for my family. And so, you don't have to sell a lot of roofs to make a good amount of money, right? Depending on what kind of roofs you're selling. And I think that kind of allowed me the flexibility. And what happened, man, it was like an understanding of time, how precious time was. I had a little one growing. She was 3, maybe 2 at the time, and those stages go by quick. All of a sudden they're teenagers calling you on their cell phone,
Crazy,
seeing
yeah.
where they're at. And I think I just had to really understand, like, okay, like, do I want to be gone, working 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts, overnight, whatever I was having to do, or can I go do this roofing thing that I seem to be pretty good at, and it seems to be giving us tenfold of what I'd be making. I'm making twice as much as I would ever make as a nurse, or something that I want to be, and I get twice the amount of time with my family. It was almost kind of like a no brainer in that
Yeah.
case of like, the time spent makes sense, and so to kind of answer your question, I really just fell into it. Had someone reach out to me and was like, "Hey, man, I know you're nursing school and you don't have a lot of time. My dad owns a roofing company, and I like you. I think you'd be pretty good at it. Like, you want to come and try it out, do an interview?" I was like, "I need money. I'm so broke. Yes, please." And so, anyways, went through the whole hiring process. Ended up having a really good mentor there at the time, and just kind of helped show me sales. And I think the neat thing with sales that I liked a lot, especially roofing sales in particular, is I started understanding like it's a skill. I kind of always thought like being a sales, you kind of like had to have with the gift of gab, which yes, anyone I have the gift of gab, but I just didn't like put my identity as being a salesperson, right?
Yeah.
Until I really kind of started seeing the makeup of the skills that are needed to go into it, and like what a good salesperson is. You know what I mean? And the good salesperson isn't the car salesman that you think of. That the good salesmen are the ones that can sit here and have a good conversation with you.
I say it's about building relationships.
It's 100% rapport. Being I can go all into it, but I don't want to digress too far. But it just kind of fell one thing after another, and something I was really good at, and
No,
allowed me to tell my family.
let's dig in for a second.
Yeah.
What do you say are some key attributes to someone who would be a good salesman,
Oh,
a good roofing salesman?
I would.
I would say honesty is probably the first most important one because
Yeah.
because there's a not. I mean, it's an industry that it's 50-50 on whether you're going to get someone who's running an honest, good show. You know what I mean?
It's so true, especially here in Texas. Like, just the rules and regulations that are just kind of set in place. It just kind of breeds.
And you might get 1 or 2 roofs being dishonest, but good luck building a referral network. And
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's gosh, that's so true. I would say, and this is just for me personally, because I think this was the hardest one for me to help understand was, and this is a biblical principle too, is the ability to listen twice as much as you speak.
So good, because they're going to tell you what they want,
Right, exactly. And to me, I thought like, I was going to do some like cool Jedi mind trick or something to like have them want to buy the roof from me.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's really just listening to your prospect, figuring out what they're telling you,
Yeah.
and then figuring out a way of like, I don't want to say disqualifying and qualifying, but that's essentially what you're doing, because especially like the way that we teach our sales team is we're not selling on a basis of like, hey, you need a roof, we're a roofer, we'll do your roof. We sell more on a basis of like, hey, you need a roof. What kind of roof are you looking for? What experiences are you looking for? What's your expectation of the roof? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, what are you wanting? You know what I mean? And there's a lot of times that we have to run into that play. And again, that kind of plays into listening, but there's a lot of times that we run into clients that are like, hey, I don't think you're going to be our client. And not saying like you're a bad person or anything, but just I don't think that we would be able to deliver that 5-star experience for you because of what your expectations are.
Yeah.
Now, you've told me, I want to get my deductible waived. I don't care about workmanship. Just get a roof on there. I'm selling it in a year,
Yeah.
whatever it is, right? And so, like the clients that really like us and what we bring are the ones that are really looking for the peace of mind. They're
Yeah.
wanting to make sure that it's going to get done. It's going to get done
Quality
correctly.
roof.
The
Yeah.
quality roof, and then and clean up, man. Because I think the biggest thing, and this is the difference between residential and commercial, is someone's house, like that's their abode. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
sometimes, man, that's the most expensive thing people own. And it might be the only thing that they ever own. They might be in the same house for 30 years, right? And so they want to take care of those things. And so if we're going to be the roofing company, because you know roofing, it's no like cute pretty thing,
Yeah.
it's we're ripping off shingles. There's
It's
nails flying everywhere.
It's a dirty, ugly
It's gnarly.
process.
Yeah, it can get messy. And so being able, and I don't want to say like put makeup on a pig, but being able to deliver that experience still by having to do the hard work that needs to be done to do a roof, because regardless,
Yeah.
someone's got to get the sleeves rolled up, pull off shingles, nail them back on.
Yeah.
It's
That's
a good
true.
day, right? But it's how to get from start to finish, how you tear off the roof. Are you using a catch-all system to make sure that the plants are done? Do you have a production manager that's making sure that you have everything, right? Because if you're a salesman and you're selling and selling, it's really hard to keep delivering 5-star experiences when you have 25 other people that you're trying to do the same thing to, right? And so it's a real point of where we, like, especially this year, we really dialed it in to be at a point of what kind of experience do we want our homeowner to know who we are, right? And it all, this is funny. So, and I don't want to digress too far. You cut me off if we go in the wrong direction, but we go to Chick-fil-A way too much, way too much. And I kind of like took a step back. I was like, okay, why do we go to Chick-fil-A so much? Why, And these are my words. I got this from somewhere, but it's the experience that Chick-fil-A brings. We know we're going to get through that thing quick. We know there's an app that we can get on. We know how the chicken nuggets are going to taste. We know the fries are going to be like this, right?
Yeah.
The experience is our expectation of what it should be. They hit every time. Every time. And if they don't, they're usually pretty good at delivering something that makes sure to get that. But it's the experience and the expectation that we have of the food. And if they keep delivering on that, then we'll keep going back over and over and over again. And I feel like chicken, there's many other companies that do this, like Ritz-Carlton, you name it, do a great job. But I think I dialed it in. I was like, okay, it's really the experience on what these homeowners are wanting is the real thing on if they're going to give you a referral, if they're going to say you did a great job. You know what I mean? Because there's still times where we've done roofs. I feel like we did a great job. And we ask them for a 5-star review. It never comes. And I'm like, man, did we like miss something? Like they didn't complain to me. I asked them at the end, how it went. And they just know. Now, is it they just got busy and just forgot
Sometimes
to give
people
it?
just don't feel like it's annoying.
Right.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like we don't get the cookie at the end. It's like, man, I did all this work, but like we didn't get it. And we may have done great. But, regardless, that's what we're looking for when it comes to really like being there with the homeowner is what experience are they going to get when they get a roof through us?
That makes sense.
That's what we're focused on.
That makes sense. And it is true. So basically back to the question as far as the characteristics of someone who would be good at sales.
We're so off. I don't know how we got in there.
It's okay. That's my job is to bring us back.
Thank you. You're a great host, brother. Great host.
My job is to bring us back. So it's going to be someone for another thing is they have to be able to hear no, right? Like you have to be because you're not going to sell everything.
Oh yes, and I think that comes with like resilience, man, and like hey, you gotta have like a little hustle, a little grind.
You definitely have to have. That's why some of the people that I know that have been the best of this have kind of come from have kind of sort of a street mentality as far as
it
like,
works,
willing to grind and hustle and sell. And like I know some, because with roofing sales and just to be straightforward in the beginning, you're going to be knocking on some doors. Like you got to drum up some business. You know what I mean?
Everybody that comes through our sales onboarding, they have to understand door knocking, and it's not. I don't want to think like because sometimes I think people go about it and they think like door knocking is just this monotonous task that they just have to do because it sucks. Like it really
It's
sucks.
definitely hard.
Okay, like I do it for a living, okay, and I'm teaching people how to do this, and I tell them straight from the beginning, like, hey, look, like you're gonna get your face kicked in. You're gonna
Yeah.
get some people that are slamming the doors that might say not nice things to you, but it's the ability to take that, throw it back, and then just go to the next one. Like
Yeah.
that small
That's good.
adversity and the adaptability. If you can master that piece, the presentation, the close, the dealing with adjusters, like everything else that falls after
It's all
that,
pretty easy. Yeah.
it's all easy, right? And it's if you can find the skill to like really be able to understand, like, and everyone says like, oh, it's a numbers game, you know, and this and that, and it at the bottom line, it is like it's a numbers. Like, how many doors can I knock on before I find someone who's like, yeah, I like Sean. He seems like a good guy. I know I need a roof. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give him a shot. You know, like you can be horrible at sales, but if you knock on enough doors,
No, it's true.
you'll find the layover.
And
You know what I mean?
it's a people thing, right? It's a lot of times people don't buy something from someone they don't like,
So good,
right?
So
So
good.
like,
Yeah.
so I used to be like, oh man, this neighborhood's been knocked on so many times, and then all of a sudden you get one there just because something about your personality and that person that you knocked on their door
Yeah.
meshes. You know what I mean? Or like,
And yeah, we just had a new guy come in and he was brand new, never done. Or I think he had done door knocking a little bit, like when he was in high school or something, like selling
yeah,
cookies or something, and nothing like into that area. But he really had to get an idea of understanding, like not to take things personally. Like it's crazy to think of, but like that person that is like super upset, slams a door in your face,
yeah,
tomorrow is like the nicest person ever, and they're
Yeah.
giving you cookies. You know what I mean? And like we're all humans. You need to understand that too. Is when people are like rude to you or say something that you know yourself you're not. It's taking that and not bringing that to the next door or the next person or your family at
Yeah.
home or
Oh,
whatever it
that's
is.
good
You know what I
too.
mean? And so that's
Carrying that over can be rough.
it can be. And I'm not saying again. We're not perfect. Like there's times where we mess up and it happens, but just understanding like that adaptability. And I don't know why I keep coming back to the adaptability, but if you can be an adaptable human being and be put in an environment where you're uncomfortable, you're talking to strangers, people that you don't know, houses that you've never been to, and you can be yourself and have a real meaningful conversation with someone,
Yeah,
that's like
I think that's
that's
good.
money.
Yeah, it's just I guess the reason I wanted to do this episode is because honestly, like there's so many people out there right now struggling for income.
Yeah.
And like
Oh.
this is such a career. This career changed my life.
Yeah.
I own a gym
It's good.
that does not make a ton of money. Like I'm gonna be straightforward, but I love it. My passion was there
Yeah.
and I love to have it.
My
I
dad's in
wouldn't-
the gym business, dude,
wouldn't
so
get
I'm with
rid
you.
of it. You know what I
I
mean?
know the ins and
Like
outs of
there's
it for
not
sure.
a bunch of money in the fitness world, especially not a small boutique fitness thing.
Sure.
And I used to lay in bed struggling, like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And then one of my friends said, dude, come try roofing. And it's 100% changed my life. I've never made money like this in my
Yeah.
life. Now it gives me the freedom to not have to worry about it. Like I know I can bring other people in that can do it. So like, and I know this podcast is not just for people in prison, but for the guys in prison. The reason I'm doing this podcast today and the reason I wanted to bring Justin on here is this is a career that you can get out and I'm talking working. This might sound might not even believe this,
Yeah.
but working a hard part time, not a soft part time, but working a hard part time, you can make $100,000.
Yeah.
Like literally.
100%. I mean, you always hear sky's the limit in sales, but the neat thing with that I like in sales is you can be white collar, do whatever you want, grow up, and you can have two different people and they can make the same amount of money. And it's the reason being is you have not everybody is the same person that you're selling to, right? You said it. People buy from people they like.
Yeah.
Some people might see me and be like, "Dude, who's this kid? Get off!" You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
they
then
see me and they're like, "Oh, this big tough guy."
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah, or vice versa,
yeah.
right? And then you have the right person. It's like, yo, Sean, I can, I jive with Sean. It's my guy. And they see me and they're like, he seems a little square. Like tell him to get out. You know what I mean? And that's okay, because there's different audiences. And so, like you're saying, like if you're incarcerated or you're about to come out and you're looking for something, like there's real opportunity for you to really be able to press forward and become someone and be who you want to be, like be your own authentic self. And I think in sales, being my most authentic self has given me the most success. Like I get along with people. Like I like just about everything. Like I listen to all different types of music, 80s to jazz, like you name it. Like I've listened to it before or movies. Like I'm a Star Wars nerd, dude. I love me some Star Wars, and we just had a guy, we just did a roof, or no, we're going to do his roof in like April. We got him all signed up. Anyways, um, ended up going through the whole sales process. He signs the agreement for us. And then after we were done, we got onto something about Star Wars. He's like, hey, you know what? You want to come look at my, I have like a Star Wars thing up here. You want to come try? I was like, yeah, sure. Sure. Yeah. And I go up there and it's like, he's got like a whole movie room full of like Star Wars. He's got like Lego Star Wars hanging from the thing. And like, dude, it's super nerdy. But like to me, that's cool. Like I build Legos with my daughter all the time. Like I'm trying to like give her like some of the cool, and it's and someone else like they might not care less about that. You know what I mean? But people again, what I'm getting to, people buy from who they like.
Yeah, no,
and
it's good.
people like all sorts of people.
No, it's so true. Like it's an amazing career that can really. Let me just. I've never said this before. I've told one friend this, and I'm going to put this out there. I have no idea. This is not something that I've set in motion yet,
Like, I don't know where you're going,
or
go
maybe
for
even
it.
will. But this is something that like have a vision of happening. I would love to buy a house, and I would love to put like bunk beds in 3 of the rooms, right? And I would love to find 6 driven dudes getting out of prison and teach them how to sell roofs and put them in this house.
Dude, that's a movie.
And just grind together. And I swear, I think it could take 6 people and completely change their lives.
Dude, you want to talk about
And
a
like,
culture, man? I
isn't
mean,
that cool? Would that be a cool thing?
Yeah, dude, that's phenomenal. I mean, that's
And they
actually
don't even
really
have
cool.
to be 6 guys that just got out of prison. It could just be any 6 guys that are just kind of needing direction. You
Change
know
your
what I mean?
life. Yeah. Like, hey, like I'm
we go
here.
to church
let's go
together
there.
on Sunday. We work out at 7 in the morning, and then we all hit the streets after that. Like I think it could be like the cool.
Yeah.
That's just this vision I have.
Dude, I mean, and I think you're kind of leading into culture, is really what's saying. Am I right? I mean, because like that's um, we can go there if we want to.
I think that's a
but
great
I mean,
idea.
I mean,
Culture. Each company has its own culture.
yeah, most definitely. And again, like that's kind of leading. I mean, we're kind of connecting all the questions here. Again, is like there's space for anyone and everyone who wants to come into this business. They just need to find which culture they fit into.
That's
Like
good.
like the culture at our company might be light years different, or we might have some similarities, but it might jive with someone else better than the other. You know what I mean? And that's fine. Because that's why it's great being here in the Dallas Fort Worth. You have so much work that if you can just find the people that want to get on board and want to get after it, like there's real potential there. You know what I mean? And
That's really good.
It's
What was the hardest thing for you as far as like starting your own business, like starting your company yourself?
oh, dude, I think I'll draw back because so my dad was my parents were entrepreneurs. So I've seen the highs, I've seen the lows, the middles, all the things of entrepreneurship. And so growing up in that, it really, like, honestly, it gave me a really bad taste of entrepreneurship. Like, I had a lot of people, like, especially when you first get into sales, like, hey, would you ever want to own a business? I'm like, no, like, been there, done that, see my parents do it, like, not for me. And I think the hardest thing was kind of unpacking that, honestly. Like
Getting over the fear up.
yeah, and I'm a very naturally just optimistic person. Like you ask anyone in my family, they call me the golden boy in my family. Like he's the golden boy, and so I just have like that air. And then when I was approached by my business partner now, and he was basically saying like, hey man, let's do this. Like you can do this, I can do this. Like I can see how this can work. I saw it, but I also remember the things that I grew up in. Like I mean, I'm talking, my parents had to file for bankruptcy for one of the businesses that they owned. And that business, I mean, was doing phenomenal. Ended up losing a couple big time clients that really put a damper on the company. So they ended up having to file for bankruptcy. But I mean, there were moments when I was growing up where I was having to sleep at my aunt's house because there wasn't any electricity at the house, or I was taking cold showers because, or we didn't have water on at the house because the bills can be paid. You know what I mean? And so that's what I attach to entrepreneurship and owning a company, and then
the risk,
the risk, and it's real, and I'm young, growing my own family. Like I don't want my daughter to have to go through that. As a father, you want to make sure you give them more, but also God gave me the understanding is that there's ups and downs with anything you do, sales, working your 9 to 5, whatever it is, but you get the ability to choose what you want to do, how you want to do it. And I think when I got approached by my business partner, I was instead of me being the optimistic, happy go, like, let's get after it, I was like pulling the reins back on the horse, like, whoa, like, hold on. We need to think about this. We need to think about that. You know what I mean? And I think half entrepreneurship is just having the courage to just step out and just do it. You know what I mean? And like really being able to, am I heating you up in here? But yeah, entrepreneurship, man, I think half of it is just having the ability to really step out and get after it. But I think I didn't understand how much impact my uh, childhood happened
Yeah.
with me growing up as a kid and how that impacted me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
that makes
so,
sense. So
yeah,
overcoming this default that you had as far, you know what I mean?
that's good.
Overcoming the default that you had when you
Yeah,
started thinking about, entrepreneurship and that lifestyle. And that's actually really good because we all have these sort of defaults and
yeah,
things that we've been through in our life and what's caused them, and then they can cause us to not want to push through or to think that we're
oh,
not
for sure,
capable of something,
for sure.
or that's not for me. You know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
like I've heard of that before. That's not for me. That's when I get a lot from the kids. Like, and
I mean, that was
that's
me. I mean, because like I wouldn't. Here's the thing. Like, let me put that in perspective. Now, is I that's how I was at the beginning of this. Okay, like I was like, no way, not doing this, not for me. I've seen it, and then now that I had a really long conversation with my dad about that, and we were like, I'm saying 3 hours deep on a phone call, and we're just unpacking like, hey, like my dad is such an encouraging person, which is phenomenal to have as a to have a parent like that that's like encouraging
yeah,
you, and uh, I didn't know how much it affected me, but now, man, looking back, it has been the absolute best thing I've ever done. Like I now know, and I have the peace of mind knowing, like I am doing exactly where I need to be,
yeah,
how I need to do it. Like this is, I've everything all encompassing of the very long but short life that I've lived of the 28 years now is I know I'm exactly doing what I need to do. Like I
yeah,
have a massive passion, almost to a point where my passion is I have such a mad passion that it can affect the relationship between me and my wife, which is what we were kind of talking about
yeah.
at the beginning. Is like, okay, you have all this passion, but you kind of need to where can we pull the levers to make sure that everybody gets that same passion?
Yeah,
You
that's
still
good.
give it as a dad, you still give it as a friend. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
there's a lot of you hear work life balance. It's
So I think let's go into work. Let's go into work life balance. I have a question. Just
yeah,
what is what is a regular, and I'll share mine too. It's kind of fun.
sure, yeah.
What does a an average Tuesday look like for Justin?
Golly. Um, well, it's actually recently changed. I'd say so. We just got a. I wake up in the morning, always get my coffee. I'm a Starbucks fiend. We have a problem with Starbucks, man. We need to own Starbucks is what needs to happen, or need to buy stock, whatever it is.
You don't
Um,
drink coffee at the house?
yeah, we do. We have an espresso. It really depends. Okay. It depends how many times I've been up in the morning with my little one. If
Oh,
I've been
see,
up every day, I was like, I ain't getting out the
you get a lot
house.
of
I was
grace
like,
for that
yeah.
because that's hard to deal with. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh man, it's tough. And thankfully, we have the means where my wife is able to stay home with it, which is a massive blessing. She's a stay at home mom with our kid, and we didn't get that opportunity with our first, and so getting that's a whole nother awesome thing. But yeah, normal Tuesday, I'm waking up, I'm coffee. I'm usually getting a phone call from one of our admin that's usually like kind of letting me know itinerary. Because again, man, I think also becoming an entrepreneur, you understand what you're really good at, but you also understand what you're really bad at.
Yeah,
And so understanding of like how you can use your team to help you be the best you can be, and that how you can help your team be the best they can be is the biggest part of this. I'm still digressing, but I think I have a million admin work. I'm usually getting up. I try my best to work out at least 3 times a week. Doesn't always happen. I built a gym in my house. I have like a little corner of my garage where I have like a little squat rack and everything. But yeah, admin work, and then I'm just kind of walking through the day. I mean, I wish I could tell you I had like this perfect like
morning routine.
morning routine, and I'm usually at my best when I'm doing that, and this is definitely an area of my life that I can get better on. But I think I think my morning always starts with my coffee.
Yeah,
I think coffee is like a good starting point where I know it's like, okay, here's my reset. This is my time. Let's get after this day. And then just kind of sprinting from there.
yeah. See, with me I'm like you. I don't always get the perfect routine down,
Yeah.
but when I do, it's special. Like it's something's different. So I like to.
Yeah.
I get up at depending if I'm going to come up here and train. I haven't. My life is wholly. I used to be up at 4 o'clock every morning, hands down, no ifs ands or buts. 4 in the
Nice,
morning
dude.
here at the gym, training and stuff. But since now, I have someone that runs the gym for me here now, and I don't have to do that.
Nice.
I don't. So I'm normally up at about 6.
Power of delegation.
I take my son to school. I go to the gym. I go to the coffee. So I drink my coffee 4 o'clock in the morning out of my Keurig, right?
Yeah.
Then I go to take my son to school. Then I go to the gym. Then I like to go to a coffee shop and spend my time in the Word. Like I like to
Mm.
spend 30 minutes reading my
Oh,
Bible.
that's so good, man. I
I
need to
like
do more of
to
that.
prayer journal. It's my new thing that I'm really prayer journaling my prayers now, because when I just think I'm going to sit down, when I think I'm just going to sit down and pray, I can't do it because I'm just like, oh no, I forgot to text this homeowner. Oh, I forgot about this. What color? What type of shingles did they want? Oh wait, I got to. So like it's like all this stuff just running through
Oh,
my mind,
relatable.
and so I'm not actually like even praying, and I'm not even thinking about it anymore. So what I started to do is write my prayers down.
Mm.
So I'll read my proverbs of the day every day, no matter what.
So you're in Proverbs? Is that where
No,
you
no.
always start?
I every day I start with whatever the proverbs of the day. So I
Oh, Proverbs. Okay.
recycle that over. There's
Okay.
31 or there's 30 or whatever,
Yeah.
31. So whatever day it is, if
Nice.
it's the 15th, I read the 15th proverb, and then I go into whatever I'm reading. So right now I'm
Nice.
reading through John,
That's a good way to
um,
do it. I never thought, yeah, because
because
it's
it
just
sets
another
me
day.
up for, and it's all wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
It's all wisdom, and I get something different every time I read it. So it's never like just reading the same thing.
Yeah. I'm going to jump in there real quick. Is
Mhm.
there ever any time when you're in the Word? I find this happens to me all the time. Now, when you're in the Word, you read something about that day, and it might pertain to you then, it might not. And then as you go through the day, or maybe the day after, whatever it was that you had read on that word, you probably needed at some point during that day, or maybe the day after, or maybe just something to kind of help your mindset on there. And
Yeah.
I call it like a wink from God. I think one of my pastor was saying it's like a God wink. You know, it's like hey, like I'll give this to you now. You might not understand it, but like this is
I call them God winks. I've always
yeah,
called them God
God
winks.
winks.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I don't know if you, I'm not sure. That's something I've even said to Trustin before working
really.
out together. I'd be like,
Oh,
bro,
dude, then maybe
I don't know. I'm not
maybe
saying that,
I'm
but I
gonna
have
tell.
said,
I'll tell.
no, but I have definitely said that to him before working out. But like, I call them God winks. Like, I feel like
Yeah,
God's winking at me and saying, hey, this, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
that's something that,
I love them, man. I mean, it like
it happens quite often, but it
well,
really,
hold on. I had a God wink. That was the whole reason why we're even here right now. Is
that
when
was funny. You
I
said,
called you on
yeah,
the phone, man. I guess I can run it through. So I was on. Where was I at? I think I was like headed to a golf tournament, like a charity tournament or something. And I don't know what it was. I was driving on the highway, just windshield time, no radio, no nothing. And all of a sudden, I'm just kind of thinking through my thoughts, start talking out loud, and start having my conversation with God. And then all of a sudden, Sean Service pops in my head, and I don't know, maybe I'd seen something before or something, but it was just like an immediate, like, hey, reach out to him. And I was gonna text you. And I was like, oh, I'm driving. I was like, okay. I was like, fine. I was like, I'll do it later. And then it was kind of a point. I was like, I know I'm never gonna do it later. I need to call him right now. And so I called him, and ended up calling you, man. And here we are doing this whole
yeah, I know. And it's funny
podcast.
because, and it was right on time. Like I needed it too. You know, sometimes you get, like
Yeah.
this podcast thing, like this is a lot of work.
Oh,
People, I mean, you know, it's a lot of work to put into these to stay consistent on it. The
yeah.
key to a podcast is consistency.
Mhm.
And sometimes you don't see the reward of it. I'm
Yeah.
just be honest, right? You
Yeah.
don't see the reward
Yeah.
until I get to the gym and I open up the mailbox and I have letter after letter after
Is
letter
that what these are?
from you guys.
Dude, that's
Y'all
awesome.
watching this? I mean, not from some of you guys that watch
I
this,
should have asked you about that. I didn't know what
like
those were.
these letters, dude. This one's from Jesse James Wagner in Miletus, California. This one's from
Nice.
Blake Cornwall in Breckenridge, Texas, and this one's from Cody New in Brentwood, Texas. Like, bro,
And who are these? Who
the-
are these
these
just
are just people in prison that just
oh
write
wow.
random letters and say, "Hey, man, we were watching your podcast. It's changed my life." I got an email today. Actually, you know
Man.
what? Let me go there. I know this is kind of not anything
Yeah,
to do at
shoot.
all with what we're talking about,
Shoot, man,
but I
go
got a
for it.
message on Messenger from a guy today, and I want to read it to you guys. He said, I'm going to skip his name. Hey, my name is blah. I just got out of county jail for the last 80 days. Just finished a 5-year bid in January and did 5 years before that. Your podcast this last trip changed my life and helped me see what God has been tugging on my heart about. Uh, I've had a vision about helping people and kids reentry as well. I want to be a mentor and start something like you have. As a matter of fact, I will. I just need God's guidance and timing. I've been praying on reaching out to you. I'm here in Portland, Oregon, and like a lot of people, I had no real father figure, even though I had a father. Check this out. We were not always the best, but I never got a chance to make it right with him because he took his life in December of last year,
Dang.
and it's killed me inside. His father died the same way. I promised my kids that it would never happen with me, but here I am trying to make something out of nothing. I just wanted to send my love and say that you're a real one. I hope that we can chop it up sometime and you can give me a line about how to do this. First, I got to build myself, right? And I know I just got out yesterday, but I know I've been reborn. I know I've been reborn. I
Wow.
love you, bro, and I hope this reaches you in the utmost. Like these type of stuff, it keeps. I'm like, okay, bro. Like
Yeah, you're doing something right.
I was feeling discouraged, and I was like, okay.
Man.
I was like, okay, I guess I gotta like I have to keep doing this. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's like you got other eyes
people take
watching
the
you.
time
Never
that
thought.
yeah, dude. And you know what? This podcast was never in my mind whatsoever to go into the prisons. Like
Sure,
I thought I was trying to make a podcast for like, people out here in the world,
sure, yeah.
But God had a completely different direction.
Mm,
And I don't want that. I
mm.
want people out here to still listen to this. I don't want it to
Sure,
feel like it's just
I
locked into
listen
people.
to
Yeah,
it.
like when people tell me that, it trips me out. Like I have a men's group, and the guys are like, "Hey, man, I listened to 8 of your episodes this week," and I'm like, and the people like I respect, I'm like, that's 8 hours of your week to
Yeah.
listen to me talk to people about
Yeah.
like like I am not sitting. If one thing about me, I'm not sitting at home thinking, yeah, these people are listening to my pod. Like that's not me at all. Like if you know me, I'm sitting at home thinking like, am I wasting my time? Like I
Yeah,
hope one person hears this and it helps. You know what I mean?
That's well, that's so good because you're talking like self talk and stuff like, and I think everybody has their own. I think everyone is their, at least for me, and I'll speak about myself. Is I think everyone's like their own worst enemy.
Oh,
Like
so true, dude.
you could be doing God's work, unknowingly doing it, and you just think like, is there more I should be doing? And it's crazy, and this is why it's so important to be in the Word, is because you keep getting those reminders of that, like what you're doing is correct. Because it's all, especially in this world today, social media, everything you name it, is easy to just look out, pull up your phone, and just see someone else doing better, or
Yeah.
you've heard
That's
it
good.
plenty, and
good.
so just to be able to understand like this is what I'm doing, I can control what I can control and move from there. It's powerful. I mean,
That's good.
I don't have people sending me letters, man. That's awesome. Like that's
And I wasn't saying that as like a
no,
comparison thing.
no,
I just mean that as
not
in,
at
like,
all.
it's something that just keeps me going in this. You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
this
Like,
is just me speaking into you, man. Like I think again, what like I have a ton of respect for you, brother. I
Thanks,
hope
dude.
you know that, man. And so I know you're very humble and a very transparent person, and that's how I strive to be. And so
Thank you.
what you're doing is right, bro. So
Thanks.
like keep doing it.
It means a lot. It means a
Yeah, man. I hope so. For what it means, you know what I mean?
No,
But
it means a lot.
it
Like even like that day, I'll never forget when you called me that day. Like I was like, oh, that's cool, because I actually, you started this. I've kind of followed in your footsteps with you had a roofing company before I did, and
like
I
a week.
and I saw no, it was months. It was months, and I saw you doing it yourself, and I was like, man, it kind of motivated me. Like, man, he's got the courage to just jump out there and do it.
Cool,
I'm
man.
selling for someone else. I could do this too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man. Well, good.
and it's
awesome.
kind of cool. I actually dealt with more of imposter syndrome. When
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Like, enough about me. Tell me. Okay, imposter.
with the roofing company, yeah, because
so?
I had only sold roofs for like a year. Like you know what I mean? I knew the basics.
Sure.
Like you know what I mean? But I knew how to sell. I mean, it's not brain surgery to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, in rocket science,
It's really
you got
not.
it right
You
on
know
the
what I
money.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
Because I'm not up there putting your roof on. Like you don't want me. You do not want me putting your roof on. I barely know how to use a hammer. Like I swear to God.
I looked the part. I put the vest on and all the
You
things.
do not
but
want me on your roof.
the nail might go in a bit crooked.
You should see me try to hammer a nail in, dude. It's like,
Hey,
I'm like,
I have gotten
to
way
pull it
better.
out.
Yeah. Have you used those little roofing nails or the roofing hammers that have
With
the
the
magnet
magnets,
on
you
the
have
ends of
to
it?
push. It's not a
Yeah.
hit.
Dude,
And I'm
that is
awful at it.
the hardest technique. It took me
Yeah.
forever
I
to actually
stopped
figure out how to
using
do a
those.
one
I
hit. Oh, you
stopped
did?
yeah. I use them, but I stopped using the magnetic ones.
Yeah.
I just use a regular hammer with
Yeah.
the little nails with the green caps.
It all goes in. Yeah.
Yeah, because I couldn't do it. I'm like and it's all
Yeah.
bent. I'm like, I can't use that
It's-
one. Pull it out.
I
I've
think-
got like 30 holes in this person's roof. I'm like,
I think it was
can't.
like an ego thing for me. Like I hit it. I remember doing it for the first time, and one of my guys who taught me a ton about roofing, generational guy.
Yeah.
He's like, no, this is how you're supposed to do it, and he like made it look so easy. Bah, 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 bah. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? And so when I like specific is like, I'm gonna figure out how to do like a one hit nail.
It's like a push though, right?
Yeah, it is.
definitely
It's
different.
like you pushed, like you hammer like as if you're going down, but you almost kind of go up.
Yeah, it's weird.
And so like that force helps press it in.
weird,
Yeah,
but that's definitely not my skill set. So,
if anyone not in roofing, they have no clue what we're talking about.
No, don't get
now. Yeah.
it's a weird thing. Those magnetic hammers are weird, but
Yeah, certainly.
But man, this has been fun, dude. I'm glad that we did this. Do you have anything
Yeah.
that you if you guys when you get out, how can people find you like on social media?
Oh,
or something?
man.
What's like your Instagram and stuff like that? What?
My Instagram is it's at Roof Zaddy. ROOFZADDY.
I thought that's-
and
I love that.
This was not for me, all right. This is from my wife. Okay. So my wife, ever since I got into roofing, she in her phone, I don't know where, she follows a bunch of people and anyways, she calls me Roof Zaddy. So,
I think it's awesome.
So she thought,
I love it.
she pokes fun at me all the time. So she's like, you should make that your Instagram deal. And now
I think it's
even
great.
people on the street that don't know, they're like, hey, Roof Zaddy. I'm like, yeah, that's me. Got it.
And what? And his company's Ember Roofing.
Yeah, Ember, I don't know if you can see it on that. Yeah,
I think the
Ember.
logo's cool and the color's cool.
Yeah, man,
I think it looks.
appreciate
I
it,
think it's
dude. We took
awesome.
way too much time trying to put this thing together.
It's
Golly,
who
it
does
took
your
a
hats?
minute.
You
It
always
took a
have good
minute.
hats.
Man, we got it was like I think we got it all. These were off Alibaba. We have another. You know Alibaba? You know what that is?
Is it like a
You don't
Wish
know?
type
Let me
thing?
put you on, dog.
No,
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know what it
it's
is.
a like think of like Amazon, but like wholesale essentially. So you can go on there, Alibaba.com, and it basically connects you with a bunch of wholesalers and stuff. But
Oh, that's cool.
is pretty expensive. There's a lot cheaper ways that you can get the hats and stuff.
Cool.
But
If
yeah,
there
man.
was one piece of advice that you could go back and give Justin at 16, 17 years old, what would it be?
Oh man, ooh,
It's a tough question.
that's a good one.
But,
trying to think of myself like what I was like at
normally I give
16.
people a heads up so you can
Yeah, no, I
plan
mean,
that one, but I'll put you on the hot seat with it.
man, I would just say, just keep it simple, man. Just don't quit. You know, I think it's especially like in this world today, like it's so easy to quit something and then just pick something else back up and keep going. Like it's a lot harder to choose that you're going to do something and then keep doing that one thing
And make it through the hard
and
part.
make it through the hard
Yeah,
parts,
that's
all the
good.
challenges, everything, because it's so fast paced. Like you're just like, okay, yeah, I did that once and I'm done. But like if you can really ride something out and see it through, which again, this is kind of speaking to what we have going here right now is it's been really hard, but I am so proud of myself, my team, my business partner. Like we've been through some stuff, man, you know, and us not being able to quit and just to keep going has been probably one of the most rewarding things that I probably ever got to experience. Like I hope everyone in this world to be able to experience something
It's
that
cool to
they
be proud of it, right?
it is, man.
Yeah.
And it's not like pumping my own tires, but it's just a point of just kind of sometimes you need to give yourself a pat on the back. Like I was saying, like sometimes you're your own worst enemy. And when
Yeah.
you can get into a point where you can be grateful and you can show gratitude for what the opportunities that you've been given from God and what you did with those opportunities and how it's brought you to where you're at now, it is there's so much joy in that. And I think
good.
sometimes I need some time to like dive into that.
I think that's
So.
perfect. Well, thank you for coming, dude.
Dude, thank you so much for
This
doing
was
this
fun.
with me. I appreciate
I
it.
think there's a lot of value in it. I
hope so.
I think so.
I hope
And if
so.
you are watching, remember that you're loved and you're forgiven, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Amen.
Peace.